Okay, so hi everyone and welcome. We're so excited to have you here for our first workshop for the Global Health Annual Review. This is a space where global health, creativity, and collaboration comes together, and we're super thrilled for you to join us here today. So in terms of housekeeping notes, the session is being recorded, so feel free to have your camera on or off, whatever makes you feel comfortable. We'll also have time for questions at the end, but feel free to pop any thoughts or questions into the chat as we go. And this recording will be uploaded to our GHAR YouTube page for future viewing. So we'll start off with introductions. My name is Kashni, and I'm currently a master's student in the Global Health program at McMaster. I'm one of the workshop leads, and I'll pass it on to my co-lead to introduce themselves.
Hi everyone, my name is Letitia. I am the other co-workshop lead here at GHAR, and I'm in my final year of the Honors Life Sciences program here at McMaster. So before we get it started within our workshop, we would like to start off with a land acknowledgement. So the city of Hamilton is situated upon the traditional territories of the Erie, Neutral, Huron-Wendat, Haudenosaunee, and Mississauga nations. This land is covered by the Dish with One Spoon Wampum Belt Covenant, which was an agreement between the Haudenosaunee and Anishinaabe to share and care for the resources around the Great Lakes. We further acknowledge that this land is covered between the lakes purchase 1792 between the Crown and the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation. Today, the city of Hamilton is home to many Indigenous people from across Turtle Island, and we recognize that we must do more to learn about the rich history of this land so we can better understand our role as residents, neighbors, partners, and caretakers.
So we want to hear from you guys and check in with everyone. So in the chat, please share one word that describes how you're feeling today. And of course, it can be more than one word. So for example, feeling energized, curious, tired, inspired. So let's see. Someone's feeling excited. That's great. Anyone else? Busy? Yep. Definitely the end of the semester and everything's wrapping up. Tired? Yep. End of semester, exams, assignments. Good. That's great. Keep them coming. Great to see a lot of engagement in the chat.
So next we'll go over a brief overview of what we'll be discussing today. So first we'll start off with a brief description about what GHAR is, and then we'll be introducing our 2025 editorial team, then going into submission overview, and then our upcoming events. We will end off today's workshop with a Q&A session as well.
So about GHAR, the GHAR is a collaborative journal from the Global Health Office at McMaster University run by students, staff, and alumni. It's an open access and peer-reviewed journal that provides a platform for global health research and for the community to share their findings, insights, and views about all aspects of global health. This student-run journal particularly publishes articles written by global health students and researchers, and the scope of the journal includes the following topic areas: public health, environmental health, behavioral health, health policy analysis, education, health economics, medical ethics, globalization, and health equity. So in terms of publication frequency, GHAR is an annual journal aiming to publish one issue per year. GHAR provides immediate open access to its content on the principle that making research freely available to the public supports a greater global exchange of knowledge. So GHAR is a product of a student-led initiative to showcase the innovative research projects and papers that Master of Science Global Health students at McMaster University conducted in 2015. The goal of this journal is to not only share the knowledge and research of MSc Global Health students, but also share the knowledge and research of global health students and colleagues around the world. So through knowledge sharing and translation, this journal aims for Canadian global health research to have a stronger and longer lasting impact on the global society.
The next up, we will be going over our 2025 editorial team. For the executives that are here on call, feel free to unmute your mic and introduce yourselves. But first, starting off with our editors in chief, we have Jawaria and Jenny. And then we have our communications leads.
Hi everyone, I'm Wanya. I'm one of the communications lead for GHAR this year. I'm a Master's of Science student in the Global Health program as well.
Hi everyone, I'm Versha. I'm the co-lead with Wanya, and I'm also a MSc student in the Global Health program.
And the next up, we have our OJS lead, which is Amal. We have our partnership leads, Perneet, Rebecca, and Deborah. And then we have our workshop leads, which we both introduced earlier in the session.
We're really excited to officially announce that submissions for issue 10 of GAR are now open. So this is the opportunity to share your voice, your research, your stories, your art, whatever global health means to you.
So next, focusing on who exactly could submit. So any research that is conducted as an undergraduate thesis or senior project, graduate study scholarly papers, practicums, and theses, research projects that are conducted under global health practitioners and academics and op-eds will be accepted in terms of submissions. Another important note to take into consideration is that while GAR follows a peer review system, if you submit an entry to GAR, you may also submit it to other peer review journals in the future as well.
So in terms of the timeline, in March, submissions did open. In April, we're having our first workshop, which is this one. And submissions for the journal are going to be closing April 30th. So please get them in. With workshop 2, we're going to have that on submitting to GAR, and that's going to be at the end of April. So stay tuned for that. In May, the peer review process is going to begin, and in June, we're going to be finalizing the review of our submissions.
So next up, we'll be covering some journal topic examples. So I'll just be reading over some of the topics that we have listed. So first up being colonialism and global health, communicable and non-communicable diseases, economics and health financing, environmental health and climate change, ethics and globalization, governance, health equity, health policy and systems, indigenous health, innovation, intersectional identities, for example, gender, race, and ability, mental health, migration, nutrition, One Health, politics of global health, poverty, reproductive and maternal health, newborn health, adolescent and child health, social determinants of health, social justice and human rights, and war and conflict. Other topics that are not included in this list are welcomed for submission and up for review as well.
So in terms of submission guidelines, we ask that you submit prose single-space text using 12-point Times New Roman font. We also ask that it's between 700 to 1,200 words. And please note that this does not apply to art-based submissions. We also ask that references are in Vancouver style, and we have a referencing guide found on our website. And submissions must comply with accompanying templates, which are also found online on our website. And we ask that it's submitted in doc or docx format.
So considering how many submissions are allowed, so one entry may be submitted per category. And if more than one entry is submitted within one category, only the first submission will be reviewed for publication. And in the case for multiple authors, we will be reviewing on a case-by-case basis.
So in terms of submission checklists, these are all the things that a person needs to review before submitting. So making sure that URLs for references are included where available. This really helps our peer reviewers to check where sources are from. Submissions adhere to templates, so making sure that for the relevant category, you're using the appropriate template. As mentioned, following Vancouver style, single space, 12-point Times New Roman font, italics used rather than outlining, illustrations and tables are placed within the body of the text rather than all at the end. making sure that the text adheres to the requirements as outlined in the author guidelines, which is available on our website. And as mentioned, making sure that it's in the doc or docx format and it's between 700 to 1,200 words.
So next, focusing on our upcoming workshops at GHAR. So our second workshop submitting to GHAR will be sometime later this month at the end of April. So make sure you keep a lookout for that. And our third workshop on a live question and answer period. The date is to be determined. So make sure you follow us on our Instagram to make sure that you're up to date for when these workshops will happen.
And we would love to get in touch with everyone here. So we have our social media platforms, our email and website. So feel free to ask questions, send a message, check out our website for more information as well.
And as this is our first workshop for this year, we would like to learn more about how we can best support you. So in the chat, feel free to let us know what support you would like us as the GHAR editorial team to make to ensure that you can thrive. And if you're not comfortable with putting it in the chat, no worries at all. We do have a feedback form, so feel free to just scan the QR code and fill it out. We would much appreciate the feedback. And if you'd like to be contacted for future workshops, you can indicate that as well in the form.
And we're going to open it up for questions. So our Q&A period right now. Feel free to add any questions in the chat and we'll do our best to answer them. And then also, if you would like to email your questions, feel free to email us at mcmastergar@gmail.com. Okay, so the question that we got in the chat is, can I make an arts-based submission? So the answer to that question is yes, we love arts-based submissions. So art-based submissions they are a separate category and they're going to have separate requirements as well. So as I mentioned, usually we ask for 700 to 1,200 words, but this does not apply to arts-based submissions. We do ask for a short text that accompanies the art-based submission that you are submitting. Letitia, do you have anything to add to this?
I think you pretty much covered it.
And then the second question is, can my friend and I submit together?
Yeah, so that's a great question. So your friend and yourself will definitely be allowed to submit together. Just make sure that your entry is submitted within that one category, as you mentioned earlier, but that's definitely allowed. Any other questions?
So the next question is the last submission time 11:59 p.m. on April 30th? Yes, it is. So submission time is end of day, April 30th. Yep, EST.
If there aren't any more questions, we could wrap up the Q&A period. And of course, like Hashni said, if any other questions come up, feel free to email us at mcmastergar@gmail.com.
And we just want to thank you guys for joining us here today. And please stay tuned for our next upcoming webinar at the end of April. We would love to see you guys there.